Hello and welcome to the show. This is Isolde Trachtenberg and I'm thrilled to welcome you to the Creative Mindset Podcast. Wow, so here's what's really funny. I am in the car and running mad errands before moving to New York this weekend. And this is now the third time, literally the third time that I've tried to record this episode. And I'm not sure I'm supposed to. At what point do you stop and you heed the universe's signs that maybe you're not supposed to record the episode that you thought you were supposed to record? Or maybe you're not supposed to do the thing you thought you were supposed to do. I don't know, but it's really funny how the first time the whole thing sort of fell apart and I thought it was recorded. I thought it had recorded and then I deleted it. The second time I thought I'd pressed record and thought I've been recording this whole time, that I did this, what might be called a brilliant episode, and didn't record a thing. And now I'm trying it again. And hopefully it's actually recording. But the episode itself was about letting go of preconceived notions about the way things are supposed to happen. That's what the episode was all about. And maybe I'm supposed to let go of the preconceived notions of this episode going the way I thought it would go. And maybe that's okay. I know that sounds like a little bit of a mind trip, but, is it Zen to go, well, I don't know how things are going to go, but I'm just going to be here with it. It reminds me of that parable of the farmer whose horses all ran away in a storm. And all the people in the village said, oh, we're so sad for you. That's so sad that all your horses are gone. And the farmer said, well, maybe. And a few days later, a bunch of horses, wild horses, just sort of walked by and he was able to take them into his paddock. And the people of the village said, oh, how lucky you are that you have this, this fortune, this bounty of all these horses coming. And the farmer said, well, maybe. And a few days later, the farmer's son was trying to ride one of the horses, and the horse bucked him, and the son fell off and broke his leg. And the people of the village said, oh, what tragedy, how terrible, what bad luck. And the farmer said, well, maybe. And then a few days later, the army came, and they were recruiting young men to go to war. But his son couldn't go to war because he had a broken leg. And the people of the village said, how lucky for you that your son doesn't have to go to war. And the farmer said, well, maybe. And he had no preconceived notions. He was able to let go of anything that might hold him back from moving on with his life. And that's sort of what I'm thinking about today, and letting go of the episode I thought I was going to record, because it obviously wasn't meant to be. They say that we redo all ourselves every 7 years. We reinvent ourselves literally, because I'm a different person now than I was 7 years and a day ago physically, because all of the cells in my body are now different. And maybe when that happens, maybe that's why so many things go in a 7-year cycle. Maybe when that happens, it's a time for us to reevaluate who we are and who we want to be, and let go of the things that no longer serve us. If it doesn't serve you, what are you doing holding on to it for? And I feel that way about things too. I'm letting go of a beloved painting today. A friend of mine wants donations to a really good cause, and since we're moving and we're downsizing anyway, I was looking at this lovely little painting, this watercolor that I bought when I was 22 years old and couldn't afford it, but I did it anyway. It's of a kitten, a Chinese watercolor of a kitten about to sort of go after a little butterfly, but the butterfly is way out of reach and the kitten's about to fall down a hill. But the sense of purpose and focus on this little kitten's watercolor face just delighted me, and I thought, okay, I'm going to buy it. Even though I can't afford it. And today, more than 30 years later, I'm letting this little kitten painting go, and it feels strange, but at the same time, am I the same person I was when I bought it? No. Many times over, I'm not the same person anymore. And so maybe it's okay to let that painting go and have someone else enjoy the heck out of that lovely little face, filled with such fierce concentration. And the same can be said for this place where I'm living right now and moving away from. After this weekend, I will no longer be a DC area resident. And that's weird for me, because When I first graduated from college, I moved here with an eye towards getting into politics, and shortly thereafter realized no way should I be in politics. So I went away from that. But for a long time, the person who was very politically active, that stayed in my sense of identity, and now I'm looking to not being that person anymore, into being somebody wholly different, and that's okay. And I'm actually looking forward to meeting myself, who I'll be in New York. And people are asking me, what are you going to do when you get there? And I just keep coming up with one word answer. And the one word answer is, I'm going to live. And it's really funny. Will it take a lot of work? Sure, absolutely. But that's all part of the process, isn't it? If you're following a dream, you have to work for it. It doesn't just plop in your lap. So that's what you do. You work for it. You identify the dream and you work for it, to the exclusion of other things. So to the exclusion of being a DC area resident, I'm going to follow my dream of being a New York resident. To the exclusion of having that lovely little watercolor kitten painting, I'm going to discover new art, because I'm going to be living in Bushwick, which is the land of artists and art galleries. There are, from what I understand, more galleries per square foot in Bushwick than anywhere else in New York, certainly, but possibly even the country, which is saying something. There are something like 50 art galleries in that little neighborhood. I'm thrilled. So, yeah, it's fascinating to see who I'm going to become, and I hope that you will join me on the journey as I keep living towards my best life. The limit is X approaches your best life. That's what it is. Can you live your best life? Yeah, I think so. But I think it's a momentary thing. You live your best life now, and you try to live your best life then, and you try to live your best life after that. And you keep working at it every day, every minute. My phone has a question that when I turn it on, it asks me a question, and it asks me this: are you doing your best right now? And if I can say yes, then by gum, I'm living my best life. And if I don't say yes, then I have to look at myself and ask, what's keeping me from doing it? And so I invite you to start asking yourself that question. If you're living your best life right now, go you. And if you're not, what's keeping you from doing it? What are you putting in your own internal tape that is keeping you from doing the thing that you want to do, really, which is live your best life? It's a good question to ask, and I ask myself that question several times a day. I hope that you have enjoyed today's episode, and I'd love to hear from you, by the way. I'd love to know what it is living your best life would look like to you. What does it mean? And get in touch and let me know. I'd be thrilled to hear from you. If you like the episode, please rate and review the show. Let me know what you think. Until next time, I send you all of my love.